If you've ever wondered how Jewish families build wealth that lasts 3, 4, 5 generations, while other families go broke by the second, you're not alone. Millions of people assume there's some hidden trick, some secret handshake, some ancient mystery. The reality? It's a system. 7 rules passed down from parent to child, from grandparent to grandchild, for over 3,000 years. And the reason you've probably never heard these rules isn't because they were hidden. It's because nobody sat you down and taught them to you. Somewhere along the way, the world taught you that talking about money was rude, that wanting more was greedy, and that good people just work hard and hope for the best. Jewish families were taught the opposite. Wealth isn't a sin, it's a responsibility. And building it isn't optional, it's a duty. Today I am sharing all 7 rules with you, not the mystical version, not some superstitious nonsense about putting coins under your pillow. The real, practical, financial principles that Jewish families actually follow. And rule number 1? That's the one that changed my perspective on money entirely. So, stay with me. Let's get into it. Number 7. Never let your money sit idle. There is a teaching in the Talmud that says a person should divide their wealth and put it to work. Not hide it, not hoard it. Put it to work. Jewish families treat every single dollar like an employee. If that employee is not working, they get reassigned or let go. Your money should operate the same way. If you have $10,000 sitting in a checking account earning nothing, you are not saving. You are losing. Inflation eats 3 to 4% of your purchasing power every year. That $10,000 from last year is worth about $9,600 today. And you did not do anything wrong except leave it sitting there. Jewish families do not make that mistake. Every dollar gets a job. A high-yield savings account earning 4 to 5%. Low-cost index funds. Dividend stocks that pay you every quarter just for owning them. A Roth IRA where your money grows tax-free for life. It does not matter which vehicle you choose. What matters is that your money is moving, not collecting dust. Put real numbers on it. Take that same $10,000 and drop it into a simple index fund averaging 8% a year. In 10 years, you have over $21,000. You doubled it without lifting a finger. In 20 years, over $46,000. Same money, completely different life. All because it had a job. If your money is not working right now, fix that first. Number 6. Eliminate debt like it's a spiritual emergency. The book of Proverbs says it plainly. The borrower is servant to the lender. Jewish families take that literally. Now, I'm not talking about a mortgage. A mortgage is strategic debt. You're borrowing to own an asset that grows in value. Jewish families understand the difference between a tool and a trap. The trap is credit card debt at 22%. A car loan you couldn't afford. Financing a lifestyle that looks good on the outside, but rots your financial future from the inside. Let me make it concrete. Say you owe $8,000 on a credit card at 22%. If you only make the minimum payment, it will take over 25 years to pay it off. And you will have paid back nearly $19,000. That's $11,000 you gave to a bank for nothing. Jewish families look at that math, and they don't sleep until it's fixed. They line up every debt by interest rate. The highest rate gets attacked first with every spare dollar. Make minimum payments on everything else. Once the top one is dead, roll that payment into the next. And think about this. If you are paying 20% interest on a credit card, while your savings account earns 4%, you are not saving money. You are losing 16%. Every single month you let that slide, the hole gets deeper. Jewish families don't carry destructive debt. They treat it like a fire in the house. You don't learn to live with a fire. You put it out. Number 5. Give first, then receive. This sounds backwards if you have never heard it before, but it is one of the oldest Jewish financial principles in existence. It is the law of Ma'aser. Set aside 10% of your income before you do anything else with it. Not after you pay your bills, not after you treat yourself. First, I know what some of you are thinking. Rabbi, I can barely cover my expenses. How am I supposed to give money away? I get it, but 3,000 years of Jewish families have proven something that sounds crazy until you try it. Giving does not make you poorer. It trains your mind to believe there is enough. A clenched fist cannot receive anything. You have to open your hand to give. An open hand is the only kind that can receive. When you give first, you break the scarcity pattern. You stop operating from fear. I have watched families completely shift their financial trajectory just by starting this one habit. One family I know started giving 10% when they were barely making $50,000 a year. Everyone around them thought they were out of their minds. Within 5 years, their income had nearly doubled. Not because of magic, because giving rewired how they related to money. They stopped clinging. They started building. Opportunities showed up that never would have found them when they were operating from a place of fear. Whether that is 10% to your church, your synagogue, or a cause you believe in, the principle works the same. Money that circulates grows. Money hoarded out of fear stays small. If you are finding this helpful, hit subscribe. Every week I break down the financial wisdom that Jewish families have used for generations. Real strategies, no superstition. Now let's talk about rule number 4. Number 4. Own something. Don't just earn a paycheck. A paycheck stops the moment you stop working. Ownership pays you whether you show up or not. Jewish families understand this in their bones. They do not look down on employment. Honest work is honored in Jewish tradition. But they know a salary alone will never build generational wealth. Your salary dies with your career. Ownership outlives you. Ownership takes many forms. Rental property that sends you a check every month. Dividend stocks, a small side business. Even a Roth IRA filled with index funds. You do not have to quit your job. You build ownership alongside it. The real question is not whether you can afford to own something. It is whether you can afford to keep going without anything that pays you when you stop showing up. Say you are 58, still working, and you start putting $500 a month into a dividend index fund. Nothing fancy. In 7 years, when you are 65, you have put in about $42,000. With reinvested dividends and growth, that account could be worth $60,000 to $65,000. And now it is paying you income every quarter for the rest of your life. That is ownership. Your money working a shift so you do not have to. Jewish families have done this for centuries. The vehicle changes. The principle never does. Number 3, the 3-part money division. If you remember one rule from this video, make it this one. For 3,000 years, Jewish families have divided every dollar into 3 parts. 1/3 for living, 1/3 for investing, 1/3 for protecting. Living means rent, food, bills, daily life. Investing means assets that grow, whether that is real estate, the stock market, or retirement accounts. Protecting means an emergency fund, insurance, reserves that make sure one bad month does not destroy years of progress. Compare that to what happens in the average American household. About 90% goes to living expenses. Maybe 5 to 10% gets saved. There is no investment bucket, no protection bucket. When something goes wrong, the whole thing collapses. Jewish families build structure. That emergency fund is not a luxury. It is a wall between you and financial disaster. The investment bucket is not something you start when you have extra money. You fund it first, right alongside your living expenses. Now, the exact split looks different for everyone. If you are earning $40,000 a year, you will not invest a third right away. That is fine. Start with 10% investing and 5% protection. Then grow those numbers every year. The principle matters more than the perfect percentage. What matters is that you have all three buckets working at the same time. 1/3 to live, 1/3 to grow, 1/3 to protect. That has been the system for 3,000 years, and it works. Number 2, teach your children about money before the world does. In Jewish families, money is not taboo at the dinner table. It is required. But in the average American household, nobody talks about money in front of the kids. Parents think they are protecting them. What they are actually doing is sending them into the world unarmed. And you know who fills that silence? Credit card companies, student loan providers, car dealerships offering zero down on a vehicle they cannot afford. These companies are happy to be your child's first financial teacher. And trust me, the lessons they teach look nothing like what I am sharing with you today. Jewish families start early. They teach children what a dollar is worth. They open custodial accounts and show kids compound interest in real time. They bring children into conversations about budgets, investments, and financial decisions, not to burden them, to prepare them. And for anyone watching over 55, this matters more than anything. You can leave your children $100,000, but if they never learned how money works, it will be gone in 3 years. Research confirms that is exactly what happens to the majority of inheritances in this country. The money vanishes because the knowledge was never passed down with it. But if you teach them these 7 rules, if you teach them to divide their income, own assets, eliminate debt, and keep their finances private, that knowledge generates wealth long after the inheritance runs out. Money fades. Wisdom compounds. And that brings us to Rule 1. Number 1. Build wealth quietly and protect what you have. There is an ancient Jewish teaching that says, blessings rest only on what is hidden from the eye. In a world where everyone posts their new car and their luxury vacation for the internet to see, this might be the most unpopular rule on this list. The wealthiest Jewish families I have known do not look wealthy. They drive reasonable cars. They live in comfortable homes, not mansions. They do not wear their net worth on their wrist. I once sat with a man worth over $12 million. He drove a 10-year-old Toyota. His neighbors had no idea. When I asked him why, he said something I never forgot. He said, "Rabbi, the moment people know what you have, they stop seeing you and start seeing your wallet." That is Jewish wealth wisdom in one sentence. Visible wealth attracts envy and obligation. When people know what you have, family feels entitled. Friends treat you differently. Your lifestyle starts creeping up to match the image you have built. Jewish families sidestep all of that, build in silence, Protect your blessings by keeping them private. Practically speaking, that means do not discuss your investments with coworkers. Do not upgrade your car every time you get a raise. Do not post your vacation on social media before you have even gotten home. Let your bank account grow quietly while everyone else is busy performing wealth they do not actually have. Do not confuse looking rich with being rich. The people who look the wealthiest are often the most broke. And the quiet ones? They are sitting on generational wealth that will outlast everyone in the room. The goal was never to appear wealthy. The goal was always to be wealthy and to stay that way for your children, your grandchildren, and every generation after. So there you have it. 7 rules, 3,000 years of wisdom. Never let your money sit idle. Kill debt like your freedom depends on it. Give first so you can receive. Own assets that work while you sleep. Divide every dollar into 3 parts. Teach your children what nobody taught you. And build quietly. These rules work. They have always worked. And they will work for you if you actually follow through. Not just nod along and forget by tomorrow. Sit down this week and look at where your money actually is. Is it working? Is your debt under control? Do you own anything that pays you? Are you dividing your income or just spending and hoping? Be honest with yourself. That honesty is where every wealthy family started. If this is the kind of content you have been looking for, subscribe. Next week, I am breaking down the Jewish approach to taxes and the legal strategies that could save you thousands every year. You do not want to miss it. You were not put here to struggle with money. You were put here to build something that lasts. Now you have got the rules. Go build.